Hi everyone, good evening and welcome to the next class of C programming. Today we're going to discuss, we are starting little soon. I hope we should start by 8:30 sharp, right? So I would not delay much from the next class. I will try to start by the time itself. So today we're going to discuss about the topic that is very important uh, related to stop the process and continue the process whatever and wherever we want in the program. So it's very important till what a specific instant we want that particular program to be running, and where exactly we want that particular program to be stopped. Okay. Hi Agrati, good evening, good evening everyone. So let me show you that screen where we can see how many topics and what exactly that topic we're going to discuss, right? And that's what we have screen. I hope you are revising the sessions. I hope you are doing those tasks whichever we are doing here on online as well, right? So if you will do these practice, I'm sure you'll be getting the logics also of the problems which will be talking next after 2 or 3 classes. So we'll have problem statement of different industries. I would show you how this program, whichever we are writing, whichever we have learned, the concepts which we have learned can be applied for hardware, for different industry or industrial projects as well, right? So I'm dealing with the products basically of different industries, and I'm using these kind of programming languages only. Okay, so I will show you those things once we'll be completing at least up to a level of programming concepts in C programming. Okay, today we have to discuss about control flow in C programming. Okay, so we have these three statements called break, continue, and go to. These three statements helps us to control the entire flow of the program. Your compiler starts calculating everything from the top, and it start working from a main function only. Okay, so whatever you write in main function, whatever you write in or call in main function, maybe a number of other functions have been decided, but whatever activity has to be done should be done in this main function only. Okay, so how to control the flow of that main function, control of compiler, right? So line by line activity will be executing, how to control all those activities, that is what we have to understand today. Okay, so these statements are helpful, break and continue specifically for the loops. So loops which we have understood, and decision making, if else or switch statement which we have understood yesterday or day before yesterday. So these things gonna be covered in this particular section called control flow in C programming, right? So let me open JDoodle, the online portal where we can write the program. This is IDE, and we have compiler for C programming here. Okay. Daily, I used to tell this so that you should, get through all these terms, right? Here, there is triple dot, three dots, right? Here in the right side, you will get the settings to which you can change according to your requirement. You can save the file also, or you can save the program, whatever you make. Okay, so you can change the theme. Here I was choosing dark theme and light theme. You can change the size of any particular font, right? Or a letter or commands. You can save the file, you can open any particular file which you have saved earlier. So all these things can be done through this particular option, right? Here you can open any particular file also, right? And not to go for this, you can execute it. This is how the open source IDE is meant for, or is made for. Today we have to discuss about break statement first. Okay, these three things, let us understand them one by one. So before going into these three topics, let me tell you how to take user inputs. Okay, so you have decided a variable called x, and let me change it for x only. Okay, right. So I want to ask a user, whenever this program will be running, at that moment I want to ask a user, what is your input? So at the time of, or inside the program only, you don't want that value to be initialized. You don't want to write here anything. After running the program, you want this compiler to be stopped, and asking about some inputs from the users, right? So what will happen, whenever this program will be running, the user can give any particular input through this keyboard on running time only, right? So this is called as user defined inputs. Okay, so for user defined inputs, we have a command called scanf. Similar to printf, we have scanf, which scans, right, the inputs given by the user. So the syntax of scanf is like here, the syntax of printf was this thing, where you can just give anything inside the double quotes, and whatever you'll write will be printed. For scanf, we have this syntax, where inside this double code, we need to give the format specifier for the variable or type of inputs that user can input basically at running time. Okay, here you have defined already the variable where you have to give the input is of integer type. That's why we have chosen this format specifier as percentile d, then comma ampersand x. So what happens with this ampersand? Let us understand that. So before that, let us understand the memory organization of C programming, right? Of C structure. So suppose I have a variable called x. For this example only, let's choose this variable called x, where we have given an input called 5, right? So this 5 should be stored somewhere. So we have already seen using size of operator here inside this. If I would uh, give the variable name called x, so this will tell that it will take 4 byte of space. So 4 byte means we have got a space inside RAM, or on RAM, you can say. Here we have 1 byte, 1 byte, 1 byte, 1 byte, like that. This 5 is just a small number. If 5 would be converted into byte, then 5 would be called as 0101, right? So 0000, like this is 1 byte. 8 bits are equal to 1 byte. So 5000, this is how your information will be stored, right? This is how your information will be stored. Now let us understand what will be the address of this entire area. Address means a location point, because there is a huge area where you can save your data, right? It's a long space. The address of this location is suppose 55. The next location would be 56. Likewise, next location would be 57 till 100. We have different locations. But as far as RAM is concerned, RAM is really big. Suppose your RAM is of 1 GB. So what happens? 1 GB is a huge space. If you will just divide this 1 GB of space in 4 byte of area, then there'll be maybe millions of spaces, right? Millions of spaces, and which may start from 0, right? Then 1 million address locations would be available. So your data which is available on, which is actually 5, which is available on 0th address, you want to access this address, so that you can ask your user to input some value, and you can store that data on one specific address basically, right? So this ampersand X means you are talking about the address, right? On a particular address, this data will be stored, and whatever the address would be available, that address will be stored in, or you can say whatever data has been stored in that address, that particular value will be coming in this variable called X. Let me repeat this section once again, because you will store some data. You will ask a user, enter your data, and that user has entered 5. Okay, then wherever this 5 has stored, the address of that location will be, because of this ampersand, right? Whatever is available on that address, which means the actual data will be stored in this particular variable, right? So ampersand helps for accessing that particular address data. So if your data is available at X, maybe 0000543 543 location, right? Then at this location, suppose this data called 28. 28 is the value which is stored, which is available at this address. It means because of this ampersand X, whatever is available on this location could be accessible, and the data will be coming in X. So X will be equal to 28, right? So accessing any address location is possible using ampersand. However, I am just repeating my words again and again so that you can get to know the meaning of this ampersand, and you should not get confused about it. Okay. So here ampersand X will take your data and will store into X. Now whatever is entered into X, let me print that data also. We want to print what has been entered by a user. So, and your data data is comma X, right? If you would not write, if you would not print or write this line, what will happen? So the first sentence will be written like enter your value, then you will give your input. Suppose your input would be 13, then that's it. Your program will end over there only, right? But what has been entered by a user, you want to display that as well, can be displayed because of this print statement. So now it's up to you, it's up to your logic. How do you build that logic? Basically, whether do you want to print that value which has been entered by a user or not. Okay, now we are interested to print that value, but the compiler or the IDE, not compiler, the IDE which we are using of JDoodle, right? Here you have to give that input here inside this standard inputs section. Okay, suppose I have given that input already called 67. Okay, because you are running this code for once only, so you are entering your data like this thing 67. So if I'll run this code, this 67 will be coming in X and should be printed. So here what has been printed, enter your value. Your data is nothing has been printed. Why? Because we have to write here and percentile D. Okay, same format is there for printing any specific data, but scanf is to scan the data has been entered by a user. Okay, so something is coming up. Okay, enter your value which has been entered as 67, and then your data is been printed whatever has been entered. If I would copy this thing again, and this is y, this is y, and let me enter something called y, right? So we need to enter the different values, right? Suppose 89. Let us see, will it be coming or not? So first line, standard input, the first value is coming in first variable called X, and the second value is coming in second variable here. Is that clear, everyone? Is that clear?
सर बीच में गैप तो आया ही नहीं इसमें.
एंटर के बाद 67 के बाद में.
यस सर.
हाँ, क्योंकि हमने यहाँ पे कोई बैकस्लैश n नहीं रखा या बैकस्लैश t नहीं रखा, आप समझे? वैल्यू प्रिंट होने के बाद में एंटर
यस
योर,
सर।
वापस से हमने प्रिंट कर दिया। ऐसा भी कर सकते हैं, एंटर योर फर्स्ट वैल्यू, एंटर योर सेकंड वैल्यू, राइट, एंड लेट मी execute it, right? So your enter your first number or first value, your data is 67, enter your second value, the value which has been already entered, your data is 89. Is that okay? Can you use this scanf function? Can you use this scanf command? Is that okay? Okay, suppose instead of int command I would use char, I could use float, right? So the type of information which you are entering here should be entered in standard input. For char, it should be given in single quote, right? Suppose this thing. Let me use this char x for percentile d. It should be c, percentile d. It should be c, right? And then let us see this. Single code has been printed. Okay, let me change it to a only. So a has been printed. Single quote means character. Okay, now if I'll give if I would give hello only, so hello will not be coming because it's a character type, so only h is coming up, next characters will not be coming. If it would be string, then we have to change this particular variable inside the main function.
सर इसमें सेकंड वैल्यू डेटा 32765 कैसे हो गया?
क्या
जो सेकंड वैल्यू डेटा है वो 32765 कैसे हो गया? यहाँ तो 89 है अपना तो।
सही बात है, सही बात है। तो ये जो बात की वैल्यूज हैं, जो भी लिखा गया, इसने इसका डेटा कुछ भी बना दिया। अंडरस्टूड? इसको हटा देते हैं वापस से, है ना? इज दैट क्लियर? सो वी नीड टू बी श्योर कि हम लोग क्या लिख रहे हैं, ठीक है? तो कैरेक्टर टाइप अगर या इंटीजर टाइप कोई भी इस तरह का इनपुट हुआ, वी कैन गिव, right? So user can give any type of input whichever he wants, but we have to declare that variable first in the program. And similarly, same format specifier should be used for scanf. Ampersand a means wherever the data has stored, it will direct or redirect to that particular address. So whatever is stored in that address will be coming back to this variable called x or y or whatsoever. So this is the method, or this is the format of giving user inputs. So you can use in your programs whenever your user input is concerned. Is that okay, everyone? Have you understood that? Should we go ahead now? Give me a thumbs up. Give me your feedback. Okay, cool. So let us go back to that statement where we have to use break. Okay, we have a variable called x, which is already defined. Maybe suppose we'll take a value from user, and the user has given 10, and let me use scanf, right? Printf enter your data limit or loop limit, right? Then scanf within bracket double quotes percentile d comma ampersand x. Okay, then let us make a condition, and before that condition let us use a loop, right? So whatever value will be entered by a user, this for loop will be running for the same thing. So x maybe integer I is equal to 0, I is less than equal to x. So if x is given 10, which means this loop is going to run for 11 times, because we have used less than equal to. If we'll use less than only, then this loop is going to run for 10 times, from 0 to less than 10, which means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 till 9. Okay, and then I plus plus. Right? So we want to print something. Suppose this is hello. I gave a task also yesterday, if you remember. So I would ask, I did not receive much application. I would ask you whether how many have tried and did you find some problem also. Were you able to write the logic also of that same problem statement, right? So please give me your input on that WhatsApp group. Okay. Okay. So if now let us make a condition. If I is equal to 30, not 30, it could not be 30. If it is 5, right? So what happens here, if this for loop is running for 10 times and you want this program to be, or this loop to be stopped at 5 only. So what you can use this break statement. Now at the value of I at 5, right? At the value of 5, whenever the value of I would become 5, this if condition, because it is written inside for loop, will be true. And inside this we have used break statement, right? So if we have used here, just to let us know, if is true, right, then it should break. So technically, if we will not use this break, right, then this for loop should be running for 10 times because the input has given 10. If you have given 100 also, then also this program is going to run for 100 times. If break statement would be used, then this program will only be running for 5 times, right? Means your hello will be printed for 5 times. If I use backslash in, then it will be printing in the next line. Okay. So let me use this. Let me execute it. Hello, 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 hello. If it is true, or if is true, sorry, right? So this statement is printed and break statement has used. Because of this break, this for loop has been broken in between. It did not work up to this limit also. So if you want to break any loop in between somewhere, you can keep any if statement inside and put a condition where you want to break that loop, right? And you can use break statement. Also, we have used this break statement in switch cases. If you remember, in each case, if you don't want to continue those cases, we have used break statement. Okay. So every case was required break statement in switch case. And this is mandatory. We should use that. Otherwise, more than one cases would be true, right? Somebody was raising an issue, or somebody was asked the question that Monday, Tuesday, or something like that he was printed in that program. So he was entering a value called 1, right? And the program was running for all the cases, and the reason was we did not use break statement. Okay. So break statement is used for breaking or maybe halting a particular loop at the same situation and coming out from that particular loop criteria basically. Okay. So is that clear? Can you use this break statement in the program? Will that be?
ये ऊपर वाला एक बार दोबारा समझा दो.
कौन सा ऊपर वाला?
ये जो आपने एंटर योर लूप लिमिट से स्टार्ट करा था नहीं वाला.
हाँ, देखो हमने क्या है, हमने कोई लिमिट दी, हमने यूजर ने इनपुट दिया 100 है ना, x की वैल्यू 100 नहीं सेट की हमने यहाँ पे, we did not set this value 100 like this, right? So अगर यूजर से इनपुट लेना है तो एंटर योर लूप लिमिट, ये तो बस केवल प्रिंट होके आ गए यहाँ पे, ठीक है ना? देन स्कैन एफ मतलब जो ये स्कैन कर लेगा कि आपने कितनी वैल्यू दी है इस प्रोग्राम से बाहर, ठीक है, यूजर ने कितनी वैल्यू दी है, एंड विच इज 100. सो वैल्यू ऑफ x विल बिकम 100. So this for loop means I is equal to 0, I which is 0 less than equal to x, and what is x? X is 100. So 0 is less than 100, yes, condition is true. Then make this variable plus plus, which means I will become 1. Go down and print the statement hello. hello is printed here. Then it will go and check whether I is equal to 5. No, because I was 0. Now I has become 1. And again, this condition will be, repeated again and again. As soon as this value of I will become 5, 5 will be equal to 5. This condition will be true. Then this if condition will be executed. Here we have printed if it is true, or if it is true, just to let us know whether we have entered into this situation or not. Okay, so after that we have used break statement, which means because of this break, this for loop will be exited, right? We'll exit from this for loop and we'll come out of entire loop here. After coming out from the entire loop, what will happen? Here nothing has been written, no other loop is written, no other sentence is written. You can write here print f program is ended, program is finished, just to print something meaningful. Okay, yeah, so if is true and program is finished, right? Now if I would use if is true this statement after this break, after that I have used I used another print, testing, right? Anything, whatever you want to write here. So these statement will not be running because immediately, whenever you use break statement, whatever is written next to it will not be executed. It will just come out of this loop immediately from the entire loop, and whatever next is written will be executing. Okay, suppose I would use here 3. Then let us click on execute. So only 3 times, and because it is 3 starting from 0, so 4 times technically, 0, 1, 2 and 3. So till I became 3, hello is printed, then break statement is used. If is true, testing, these 2 statements are not getting printed. So whatever you will do here, right, whatever you will do, nothing will be executing. Okay, so this is the use case, or this is the benefit of using break statement. And break should be used, I believe, in all the programs. Almost all the program will require these breaks to halt the program according to your requirement at the position wherever you want, right? If you are making a product, if you are making a good use case, I'm sure break statement would be used. Okay, so you should know where to use it. Is that okay? And you would know where to use it only if you know how to use if statement and how to make the conditions, how to make decision making, right? Is that okay? अभी समझ में आया क्या? Any problem, anyone?
No, sir.
Cool. So let us go on the second one, and that is continue, right? So how does this continue work? Let us try to understand. Yeah. So what happened in this break is, so for loop was there, break statement is used. So this break, breaks the loop and takes the entire condition out of it, right? That's it. And the statements or the execution, whatever is written after this break would not be working. Now let's talk about continue. For right, you have written a for statement or for loop, right? Again, there's a if condition. Inside this if, you have written some condition like I is equal to 3, and here you have printed something, and then you have used continue. Continue means you will go on this for loop once again, right? Here, because of break, you were coming out of it, right? Because of continue, you will go on this for loop once again. Means after this continue statement, whatever is written next will not be executing. So you are actually throwing your compiler from continue line to for loop once again, right? So if you want, something should not be printed, something should not be, maybe a case called I is equal to 3 should not be printing, right? Then you want to run this section, you want to run this entire section for all the cases, but for a specific case called I is equal to 3, you don't want to execute this particular lower down portion, right? Then because of this continue case, you can go on this for loop back, and this for loop will be running continuously until or unless the condition here written in this for loop will be satisfied. Okay, so let us use this practically and let's try to understand this. Instead of break statement, I would use continue. And we should use continue in our program to make it more meaningful, more valuable, more fashionable and important, related to the condition and compiler. Okay, so continue here, program will be finished after hundreds of iterations. Let me drop down this number called 10. Suppose only 10 times I want to run this program. So it the first thing will be printed. Let me use backslash and also the first line will be printed, then this input will be coming, then value of x will become 10. This loop will be running for 10 times, hello will be printed for 10 times. Whenever the value of I will become 3, nothing much will happen, right? You will go here and execute this loop once again. Suppose I want to print something here as well. Printf continue test. Continue test. And we want to print for the value of I, right? And I want to print the value of I also. Ampersand D, comma, not ampersand, percentile D, comma, I, right? Because we are writing this printf inside this for loop, and here we have declared variable called int, which is of local variable type. Okay, so here inside this for loop you can use, or you can check the value of I. Okay, so I will be printing every time, but it will not be printing for I is equal to 3. Let's see. So hello, continue testing for the value of I 0, 1, 2, but for 3, because from here the program will not go down. From here the program will go back to the for loop once again. That's why this statement did not print it, right? What happened? It will it will go back to this for loop, and the value of I will become 4, because I is 4, which is not equal to 3. Then this if statement will not work, then again nothing will work here. Suppose I would use here is equal to 3, I is equal, or I is greater than 3, which means if the value of I is 4, 5, 6, 7, right, whatever it is, will not go here and execute. However, hello will be printed. Okay, hello will be printed every time, right? So let's see how many times will this program be running hello, right? Then continue testing for the value of I as 0, 1, 2, 3. Whenever it became 3, right, this continue statement is started running up for every value of I, for every next value of I, because I is always greater than 3 now, right? So it will run the loop for up to x, and x is 10. So I'll be running from 0 to 10 actually, and inside which we have made a condition for 3 or greater than 3, right? So this statement will not be printing after this exact limit, whichever limit we have set. So you have actually divided your program into, or loop into, 2 sections: before continue, before if statement, and after continue, right? So after continue option, whatever you have written will not be executing until or unless this condition does not get false. Is that okay? So whenever you want to actually break your loop into 2 sections, so you can use these two things very smartly. Huh, love?
Sir, as if we use here greater than I is greater than 3.
Right.
And when we use break, then why don't we use greater than there? We just
No, no,
use greater than here.
we can use break also. We can use break also. But listen, in this break option, this entire loop is broken. But in continue, at least this section is running, na?
Yes, sir.
So depending upon your need, would you like to come out of the entire loop, or you want a specific section, the above section to be running and not the down one, not the specific one? Understood? Similarly,
Okay, sir.
something happens for continue also. What if I would write here some statements? I would write here hello or maybe sor, right? I would write here sor. This sor will not be printed, never. Why? Because nothing could be printed, nothing could be working, whatever is written next to continue or after continue, right? If you will write it before continue, it will print every time. It will print every time whenever the value of I will become greater than 3. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Sor, hello, like that. Right. So I hope you have understood the meaning of both break and continue option. Right. You can use this anywhere, wherever you want in the program. Let me share this program also with you guys. And also let me keep it with me so that it. Yeah. So now we have the third thing called go to statement, and which is very, very dangerous. For all C programmers, it is recommended not to use go to statement, but still many programmers use it. It's a great deal to use a go to statement. Let us understand and why this go to statement is important and why it is harmful for also, right? So it has both the categories benefit and or the losses of using go to statement in the programming. Okay, so let us understand how to use it and how does it work. Yeah. So in this go to statement, what happens if you have this is void main, and suppose here you have written print hello, right? And something is written, something is written. Now go to statement is like a loop, right? Another loop. So go to ABC. ABC is a label. Go to ABC. ABC is a label. So wherever you will set, this is the entire loop where there are 10 lines of code, 10 lines. Here you have written ABC after print statement, after printing hello. So ABC colon, this is your second line. This was your first line, right? Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, like that. So what will happen here, whenever go to statement will be called, will be used, and if you have written something here, right, after go to, never, it will never work. So you have to go from go to this statement called label. So you have set it a label. Label is nothing but a keyword, that's it. You can decide any keyword, any name, whichever you want, right? It is in a control of a programmer, right? So any name whichever you want, you can give it here. It means that it is my it means like a address that you have given. You want to go to this address, and the address which you have given as a label, right? So whatever is written here will be executing again and again. Why? Because after executing this, you will go in go to, and you will come back to this place. Again, you will go to, and you will come back to this place. And this will be like a loop. So it's a bad habit. It's really a bad habit, because you can go in loop using this go to statement. But the problem is, how will you come out of it? How will you break it? There's no condition. you can do one thing. You can initialize a variable called I is equal to 0 once again, and you can make a condition if I will become 4, right? So and as soon as this I will become 4, you should break it, right? So it will break down and it will come out of this, condition called go to, and I hope the program gets ended. So why it is bad? Because you need to work on logics very well, and here logic becomes complex for you. Logic becomes complex for you. It is very complex to work with this goto. So I would not recommend to use goto, but still, because it's a part of programming language, we should understand. And some ways, it's not like I did not use goto. I use goto, however I should not use goto, right? In my products also. But the point is, if you can find out different ways of implementing the same code, right? You can find out some other logics to implement the same code, same problem, right? So better to use something else, because it will create issues in implementation of a new logic also. Suppose after 10 days, after a year, after 10 years, you want to update your codes. Again, you have to understand what do you mean by go to, right? It may create a hell amount of issues for a long or lengthy programming. Cool. So let us understand how to work with this practically. Many programmers do not allow or do not suggest to use go to statement, and like I am also not suggesting you to, right? So here, instead of for, we don't have for here. Let us not go for. I don't have any condition. Here inside this, we would use, suppose, ABC statement, ABC colon. This is the syntax. Instead of this variable or bracket, sorry, let me use go to ABC semicolon, and that's it. How easy it is. So as soon as your function will be running here, it will go to sorry, ABC. It will go to ABC like that. So I have to use X here. X is given 10. So the initial value that for X is 10. Let me give it 1 here. Okay. So whenever I will become, sorry, X will become 3. Instead of continue, if I would use continue, then there is a great issue. So let us not use continue. Let me use break here. Then it could break the entire condition and come out of it. Let's see. Right. So it will use continue like that. Instead of I, let us use X and X here. Right. Instead of continue testing, this is go to testing. Break. So break statement not within loop or switch. So break can be used either in loop or a switch. This is a loop. This becomes a loop, but go to is not called as loop, right? C compiler does not understand go to as loop, right? So let me first of all not use this if condition, and let us try to print it. See. So this compiler is running continuously. How to hold this? How to hold this? It's a great issue, right? It's going down continuously, and that's a problem, right? So we should not use it. Let me just execute it once again. Yeah, right. So it's an infinite loop. It becomes an infinite loop. However, goto is not called as loop, right? But goto is something which is very dangerous to work with. Now I want to break something. Still, my question is same. I want to use break, and break cannot be used, without for loop. So you can make a condition for loop, right? If this for loop will be used, you can, if your for loop will be used, then again there will be a problem. Let me use it. Why will it create a problem? Sorry. Why will it create a problem? because you will break from this for loop. You will break from this for loop, but not from this go to statement, right? Not from this go to statement. Now it is something very, very powerful how to use this, go to statement and break this particular condition also, right? Suppose I would use a variable called I, and I is equal to 0, I is less than 5, I plus plus, right? So whenever x will become 3, something will happen. Something will happen, right? So how will this x become 3? X was 1. So if we will increase this value of x plus plus. So x will become 3. It will be broken, and the for loop will be broken. But because go to statement is here, so again and again this go to statement will be running up. Okay, so let us execute this program. Here some, okay, I have to use semicolon. So again, because go to statement is running, and it is never going to end this JDoodle output limit reached, right? If this was not JDoodle, then I'm sure there could be a problem for running your program in your editor, right? Maybe dev++ or something else, whatsoever you have. So have you understood the concept of go to? So if this thing is there, and we want to use this for this place called ABC. So somehow this section uh, will be running, and as soon as for loop will be ended, then you will come out of it. So your labels where you have used it, if you have used something like this, where we have written this ABC here earlier, right? So there is a problem. The only thing that you have to work on your labels and logics that actually this go to statement is creating for you, right? You should understand all these meaning for working with go to. So let me run and execute this code. What happened? Go to testing for the value of x as 1, go to testing for the value of x2. So okay, let me use this backslash in here. Yeah, so 2, and then sort is coming, because here inside this the go to statement will be running up, and whenever the value of x will become 3, okay, see, nothing, never this value of s, x will become 3, never the value of x will become 3, because here x is going to increase the value. X was 1, and whenever value of this will become 3, the sort is going to be printed. Then break statement will be used, and go to statement has been used after this for loop. Yeah, so that's why there is a problem. Again, let us use it here. Right, now you will come out of this for loop. So let me execute it once again. Yeah, so program is finished, and this is how you have to tackle the complexities of goto. Once you have, your compiler will reach to goto, it will again go back this to this place. You will go back to this place once again, right? So you should take care of the you should take care of your labels which are called as this ABC is the label for go to statement. You should take care of all these labels in the program where you have used it, and what type of meaning you want to generate with the help of go to statement. So all these things must be very logical whenever working with go to statement. Is that clear? Have you understood the meaning of go to and the complexities or the problems generated by go to, how we can solve it? Solution can be coming using the statement, where exactly we need to use them and how to break them also. Is that okay? Is that okay? Have you understood this? Any problem, anyone? Cool. So today we have discussed about break, continue, and go to, right? And tomorrow we're gonna discuss about arrays. Apart from control flow in C programming, we have discussed about user input using scanf. You can take user inputs of any kind, any string, any character, any float, any integer value, right? For taking that particular input, we have to use the same format specifier and ampersand also, including that variable. Suppose the variable would be ABC, then ampersand would be used, right? So these four things we have understood today, and tomorrow we're going to discuss about arrays. So one dimensional array, two dimensional array, and multi-dimensional array, and how will this be useful for us? What are the pointers? Both are similar or different one that we're going to discuss tomorrow, right? And after that we will keep this function on, and I hope these two topics will add. Yeah, okay, I would revise it once. Yes, okay, sure. So these two topics, function and array, will add a great value in your understanding. And after these two topics, I'm sure many different problem statement. I would ask you to go for a competition, right? So I will give you a kind of assignment for 5 to 10 number of different programs or different problems, and which will be based on all the concept which we have learned and will learn in next 2 days. Okay, related to arrays and functions. I'm sure you'll be able to do all those things. Nothing will be left on, right? These recursion, pointers, structures, these are something the advanced one. This is the part of advanced C programming. Okay. However, the string part comes under another library, but yeah. So before function till function, so, it is under core C programming, but advanced part of C programming starts from string, from recursion, pointers, and structures, union, file handling, and dynamic memory allocation. Right. So almost you can say 40% of this top syllabus is related to advanced part, and 60% is related to the core part. Okay. So what we have discussed today related to user input and control flow. Yeah. Let me go back to this place. Let me revise everything once again. So scanf is to scan any user information, right? User information could be integer or float or character, right? So how to use this scanf? This is the format where in double quotes you have to use format specifier of that variable. If it is of integer type, then %d, the same way that we were using in print statement, comma, ampersand that variable. If that variable is x, then ampersand x. What does it mean? What do you mean by this ampersand x? That whenever you enter, means a user is entering a value of x, suppose 100, right? This 100 will be stored somewhere. Then the address of that particular value will be fetched by this particular ampersand, and ampersand a means whatever is available at that address should be stored in x, right? So whatever is available on that address should be stored or fetched on a variable called x. So this is what is the meaning of scanf. So if your x is of character type, then you should use C. String type, then you should use x. Likewise, right? So this is the purpose of using scanf. Scanf helps you to run a program in such a way that user can be giving any input on running time of the program right? Running time of the program. I hope you have understood the meaning of running time, right? Because whenever execution is going on, whenever whenever the execution is going on, you are not allowed to give much inputs, right? Automatically, the program would be running and it will be very fast. So you want to intervene the program in, right? So then scanf helps you to. Okay, then we have seen the statement called break. This break is helpful for switch statement, for loopings, right? So either you use for loop or while or do while, does not matter. Everywhere you can use this in loop or a switch statement, the break statement. So suppose there is a loop, for loop or while loop maybe. Let me give an example for while loop also. I is equal to 0, I is less than 10, right? So here you made a condition, if I is equal to 3, then break. Then what will happen? As soon as the value of I will become 3, the loop would be broken. Okay, similarly here also, if the value of I is equal to 3, the conditions are written from 0 to 3, right? Then this will be broken. This is how you can use this is specific keyword called break in any particular loop. Apart from this, if you're going with continue, continue works for the same thing. Break actually takes you out from the loop, and continue statement actually pulls you to the same loop once again. So it will lift you up once again. Whatever you have written next will not be executing, right? Whenever this condition will be running, right? So continue will pull you up on to that particular loop once again. So this loop will be running and running continuously, one by one, until or unless this condition gets dissatisfied. Okay, so if condition is from 0 to 10, then only for this condition, whatever you have written in the if will not be executing, and for continuous statement for all the cases from 0 to 10 will be running. Okay, now let's talk about the another case called goto, right? Let's use goto, right? So here ABC is a label. ABC, instead of ABC you can write anything else also. You want to give, suppose here LNB. LNB is the label. Go to LNB, right? And here you have printed something. Then this print statement would be printed infinite times. The reason behind is because your compiler will start work. Something is written previously or above on this label also. After this label as well, or after using go to statement, something else also is written. But the problem is compiler understand that whenever goto is used, this goto will pull your compiler status to that particular label whichever is being used in goto statement. So you will go to this particular statement or label, sorry, and then whatever is written between this goto and labeling will be executing. So it's your smartness now how to break this loop, how to break this process, and there you have to go through with complex logic building to break this loop and come out of it and build something good, right? So this is all what we have discussed today related to break, continue, and go to. If you have some question, please ask. Anyone? Anjali, Love, Akriti, Abhay, anyone, please. Any question, anyone?
No, sir.
Cool then. Clear? Very good, very good. So tomorrow we're gonna discuss about the next topic. ठीक है, आप लोगों के पास अभी शायद मुझे लगता है कुछ लोगों ने बताया मुझे कि यू आर गोइंग विद द एग्जाम्स आफ्टर सम डेज, इज इट ट्रू?
सर पोस्टपोन हो गए वो।
कब
वो
कब के लिए
पोस्टपोन्ड हो
पोस्टपोन हो
गया
गई?
है।
डेट नेक्स्ट डेट
22।
22 फरवरी।
यस सर।
ओ माय गॉड, उससे पहले तो हम लोग काफी सारा काम कंप्लीट कर लेंगे। देन इट्स रियली गुड। सो टुमारो विल मीट वंस अगेन बाय 8:30। सेम चीज को रिवाइज करना, यू विल गेट द रिकॉर्डिंग। आई होप रिकॉर्डिंग्स आर गोइंग परफेक्टली फाइन, आप लोगों के पास परफेक्टली टाइमली पहुंच रही होंगी।
यस सर।
चलिए ठीक है, कूल देन आज के लिए यहीं पे स्टॉप करते हैं, कल मिलते हैं वापस से। बाय बाय, थैंक यू।